All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to your end of the year CSOMA town hall, the legislative update, events update. Um, we're just trying to give you a sense of a little look back on the last year and what we've all accomplished and a look forward. So thanks for joining. And I see the room is growing in numbers, so that's just great. Yeah. So the chat is enabled as well as the Q&A, you guys. And so tell us where you're coming in from. I see that this has already started. And I'm gonna type mine in. Hi from San Francisco. All right, I'm Raw Adcock. I should change my name to say that as well. Let me do that. I am Raw Adcock. And I am the executive director of CSOMA. I've been part of CSOMA since 2013. And I'm just so excited to welcome you all here tonight so that we can enjoy our profession. So, all right, we're going to get started actually with Carly. So, Carly Rodriguez is here. She's representing a newly formed coalition of all of our vendors, not all, but many, many of our vendors, herb companies, needle companies, supply companies. And she's here to talk to us about this vendor coalition. And so, we're going to turn it to Carly to start.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here on behalf of the Vendor Coalition. I'll give a little introduction about the organization, what we're doing, but really we're just so happy to be here supporting CSOMA. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just share with you a couple bits of information, and then I'll hand it back over. So again, I'm from the Acupuncture Herbal Vendor Coalition. I'm actually the co-vice chair along with Greg Pepping, and then the chair of the coalition is Bill Martin from Far East Summon. And, even though I'm here representing the vendor coalition, I work for Treasure of the East, and we're one of the members of the coalition. So I wanted to highlight all of the members in the vendor coalition. Right now we have 23 members, which is super exciting, ranging from, herb companies like Treasure of the East. Also, we have some distributors there, some pharmacies there as well. So really a broad spectrum of companies that are all dedicated to supporting you and our industry. Everyone has banded together for a series of shared visions of prosperity, and not only just, we just want the industry to do better, but we're trying to focus in a couple of areas. Primarily committed to providing safe and effective products. Every single member on this list was committed to a series of quality control for our products to make sure that what suppliers are selling to you is safe for you and safe for your patients. We're also committed to supporting schools and organizations to promote mutually beneficial opportunities. We know that as the vendors, we hold a lot of resources and connections and a really big network. And so we're trying to really share that privilege amongst the community because we know that it's hard to get everything done individually. And we know that banding together will get a lot more done. We're also, unified for a shared voice, especially against critical issues impacting the industry. Sometimes it's really difficult to navigate industry-wide issues if we all have kind of a different take on them. So by having this coalition, we can really come together and get a little bit more organized in response to, like, most recently, tariffs or new regulations and stuff like that. I also wanted to share just a couple of things that we're up to recently. I really wanted to highlight a big major win of the coalition recently. We were invited to meet with the AHM, a large umbrella organization that encompasses NCCAOM, the ASA, the Council of Colleges, and the Federation Council, I think. And really, we asked for a seat at the table. These four organizations are doing a lot of really, really great work, but we also are a really big voice in this industry. And again, since the whole idea is collaboration, we really needed to get connected with this organization, and they warmly accepted us. I think we're asked to be joining into a new organization of the 5 of us. So I just really want to emphasize that, these large organizations are really here trying to get organized to support the community, support the industry, support the health of the profession. Some smaller examples, you know, that big one is like what we're really working on, but some smaller things are, of course, attending and supporting smaller regional conferences, right? Like KSA is so big and, you know, the symposium is so big. I think all the vendors really go to those, but there's all of these smaller events that individually these members might not be able to attend, but the coalition comes together and uses our membership fees to support these smaller organizations so that, you know, there's still representation from the industry side, even if it's just not one specific member. You know, again, just highlighting that your vendors are here, they care about quality, they care about. We're also super excited to educational resources. We're working on a whole video series. We're invited to create a podcast and some blog posts. And we're constantly sharing industry news and educational resources on our website. We're building a nice following of newsletter and offering translation services. So, you know, we're still, even though we've gotten a lot done, it's been about a year since the vendor coalition has started. And it's been some work to get everyone. I mean, again, the biggest win is getting your vendors really unified in this way. I think it's antithetical to understand that you're competitors, but also you really need to band together to get some work done. So while that's the biggest win, we're also working on the smaller projects to, you know, keep momentum going and see how we can connect with organizations and schools to keep doing the same sort of thing of, you know, everyone's trying to do kind of the same thing and we don't want to, you know, duplicate work. We're trying to, again, use our network to find places where we can interact and help and collaborate instead of, you know, reinventing the wheel. So we are a 501c3. So of course, as a nonprofit, we're really, really dedicated to serving the public, again, with that overall mission to support the industry. So that's really what's going on. It might not affect you specifically individually as a practitioner, but know that, you know, your vendors are here trying to do the work, trying to get connected and really make some change for the industry. So that's a little bit about us. I don't want to take too much time up from today, but I do encourage you to visit us online. I really encourage you, if you notice that your vendor wasn't on that list previously, really encourage them to be a member. I think it's really important that the more people we can get connected with, the better we can work, the more efficient we can work. So we just really invite you to spread the word and know that we're here to support you and we're seeking opportunities to do so. So thanks for the time.
Carly, thank you so much. And what an exciting update. I remember we were talking last spring about this and you guys were just getting started and to see you become a 501c3 and what that work can mean with all of you working together. And I just, you know, CSOMA couldn't exist without our vendor support, without all of the sponsorship of these corporations that go above and beyond to not only take care of us as consumers, but to take care of us in a different way as practitioners and to really safeguard and be champions of this medicine in every way. So thank you so much. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for sponsoring the webinar tonight. And we're just really looking forward to working together more and more on advocacy policy, whatever else the profession needs. So thanks for being here.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Great. I'm going to ask you to stop sharing if possible. And all right, I'm going to share some more slides. I see the chat, the room is growing. If you just got here, go ahead and type in where you're calling in from. I see people in airports all over the state. It's so exciting. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me make sure I'm on the right slide. All right, and hold on. Ooh, my computer is slow tonight. All right, this one's gonna work now. There it is. Yay. All right. Okay, I'm Ra Adcock, and I am here with Emily Von Erf, who's new face for some of you guys, but you're going to see more of Emily tonight and this year, so we'll get to you in a bit, Emily. Next, I'm going to hand it over to our amazing president and chairwoman of the board, Dr. Julie Tran. And Julie, I'll go ahead and advance the slides for you, and just give me a nod or a next, and I'm right there.
All right, next. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. Just so that you know, we have low rates on how to become a member. You can be a voting member with your professional membership, and it as little as $14 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee every day at Starbucks or Pete's or wherever you go, or Phil's, wherever you go, right? And then at the top tier, $100 a month. That helps us continue our work of safeguarding the profession and moving the profession forward for the future generations of practitioners out there. So that's easy. Next slide, please. All right, CSOMA. This is our professional association, one of the many associations of California, but comprised of licensed acupuncturists and supporters of the acupuncture medicine, like the Vendor Coalition, thanks Carly, dedicated to the preservation, advancement, and integration of the art, science, and practice of all branches of acupuncture medicine into the modern healthcare model in caring in an ethical manner, thereby enhancing the health and well-being of the general public. That is what we do. And we have our vision, our mission, ensuring all individuals have access to all services provided by licensed acupuncturists, integrating acupuncture services into the healthcare delivery system, and promoting over 12,000 licensed acupuncturists and their services as a vital part of primary care in the state, public, and private health insurance programs. That's part of what we do. We had started a strategic plan back in 2020, well, back in 2025, right, which is this year, but we are moving it forward. And so our five identified focus areas are education, communication, public policy, strategic planning and partnership, and five, organizational development. We have more on that later. That's just what we do. Our journal is now online, and we had before it was CJOM, and now we have rebranded it as the Journal of Acupuncture Integrative Medicine. If you go to jamonline.org, you will have access to all previous issues, right? And if you need hard copies, we do have some of them. We will bring them to our in-person events. So if you really want a copy, you got to be in the in-person event to get one, and we will hand you all of those. And then moving on. Okay, if you want to be in the know and be the first one to know what CSOMA is up to and what great events you can join, sign up for our newsletter, csomaonline.org. The newsletter comes out weekly on Saturdays, and sometimes you get the extra one. Like if you're already on our subscription list, then you already got the email about the reminder of tonight's town hall, plus our public comment about dry needling, right? Everyone's heard the TJ Watts lung collapse after a pneumothorax from dry needling. We've put out a public statement. Other organizations will be also putting out statements, and we just want you to use this to educate your patients, educate the public, right? That licensed acupuncturists are the way to go. And we're going to move on from there. Okay. Did you know that your CSOMA membership also translates to your ASA membership, which means the American Society of Acupuncturists, our national organization? If you're a member of CSOMA, you are also a member of the ASA, right? Which means that anything we work on the state, we can also work on the national level. ASA is currently working on the Medicare inclusion and some other things that will go on later, but beautiful that you're going to be a member of both. Can we? And if you find yourself needing somewhat of warmer, I don't know, cooler climate, the ASA is hosting their annual conference in person Saturday and Sunday, April 25th to 26th. Myself or one of the other board members will be attending the ASA council meeting that happens on that Friday before, right? And so we get updates from all the other state association delegates of what's going on in their state, what's working for them, what's not working for them, and we do a big kind of deep brain dive on what's next for the profession has on a national level. So if you're willing to join for the live conference, we'll see you there April 25th and 26th. All right. If you go to the ASA website, you can see all of the past webinars, right? The latest one was with the VA VPS program. If you haven't heard about that, that is the external provider scheduling system, so that it goes into your EMR system and helps you schedule that first patient appointment that is a veteran Now, of course, you have to be credentialed through TriWest to be able to participate in this, and they will be rolling it out to California soon enough. So there is a webinar on that to watch that. The Medicare Update webinar is also up there so that you can know what ASA is doing there and where we stand on that one, right? So there's all of that. All the previous webinars are there. I encourage you to look at that so that you know what's going on a national level for our profession. Next slide, please. There
Just
you
an
go. There
example,
that is.
just an example of one of the webinars.
One of
So
the webinars that you can watch, right? CSOMA is made up of different committees. Our most active committees are these four: public policy, publications, which is our JAME, the Futures Advisory Committee, and that's mostly focused on the students and schools and building that relationship. And then, of course, our CE and events committee that is responsible for scheduling webinars, in-person conferences, and all that fun stuff. And also, we want your feedback on what you want to learn. What other skill sets do you want to refresh on? Some new skills that you want to refresh on. I recently took an esoteric one. That was kind of cool. I don't know how many of you are in esoteric acupuncture, but I thought that was kind of cool. So if you want us to be able to give you what you want, you have to tell us what you want because we're not mind readers, even though our patients think we are. We need to let us know what you want, and we will try to make that happen. Okay. All right.
I think it's to me now, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Julie. You busted those out so fast. You can talk. I love it. All right. So that's a little bit of an overview. We're hitting you guys with a lot of information tonight, but that's what you come here for. And we've got a lot to talk about from the last year and the coming year. So we're going to just take a quick peek at not everything, but some of the events we had last year. Who came to our conference March 15th and 16th at Yosan in LA? All four of us were there. It was such a good time. These were our speakers. So just a wonderful mix of both practice management as well as theory and self-care. And we had many of the amazing vendors from the vendor coalition there. In fact, they were able to have a vendor coalition meeting at that site. And we're just so grateful to the incredible partnership that Yosan University has provided us in so many ways. Here's a look. This was not everyone at the event. It's as many people as we could get together for the one picture here. You're seeing some of the nice exhibitor hall in the background. So many fun samples, so many fun experiences. So to make sure that you join us, we're going to tell you when our live events are coming in just a second. I'm kind of just showing you either what you did or what you missed out on to make sure you don't miss out in 26. Here's your board team that put that together. There's Julie and me, Christy Vitiello, Gillian Lata, and Rob Hoffman, the current CEO, president of Yosan University, who is one of our board members and just an amazing partner. So that was your board that put that together. We did other classes that we know are important to you guys. Cal Savers, did you know that by December 31st of this year, if you have one employee or more in your business, if you have a business, not a sole proprietorship, but a business, you have to make sure that you have some kind of investment savings plan, some kind of retirement plan happening. So the Cal Savers webinar was all about that new mandatory state law, making sure everyone is compliant with that. We also know that student loans are a bit of a mess right now. So we had Student Loan Planner come and talk to us and strategize. We will have more student loan information happening in 26 as things continue to be in flux. We put together a live webinar series that has turned out to be a huge hit. We did this in September, October, November, and December on Tuesday nights. And we're going to keep running with that theme in 2026 because y'all liked it so much. It's getting more and more attended with more and more positive feedback. So this is a series of webinars. Now, if you need CEUs, we ask you to pay some money. If you're a CSOMA member, it's pretty inexpensive. If you're not a member, it's a little bit more pricey because there's got to be benefits for membership. But if you don't need those CEUs, then you can just join because we have a mentality of abundance. So whatever we're doing, we want to spread that as far and wide as we can. And we just ask for some financial contributions wherever we can that feels appropriate so that we can send Julie to the ASA meeting to participate in national politics. And so we can do all these other activities, keep the lights on, well, the virtual lights on, and all these platforms running. So these were amazing speakers. We just had Dr. Jenny Nieder Leaders 2 weeks ago. We had 120 people register for that. It was such an amazing webinar. Anne Marie Trioni, Dennis Von Elg, Dr. Bhatti. It was such a great lineup. And then, of course, there's tonight, just another CEU to put in your pocket in case you need it. Our goal is that your membership pays for itself. So we try to do that through CEUs like this. By the way, you will have information about how to get credit for the CEU in your registration information. So check those emails that you got when you registered. It has all the information about how to claim your 1 hour of Category 2 CEU for tonight. So that's me and Julie. Pretty good pictures. All right, what's coming up? We are going to do the webinar series all through 2026. So you can count on CSOMA bringing you a really dynamic and interesting program in a community setting, because we're really about bringing community together, the second Tuesday of every month in 2026. We've got the whole program lined up. We've got the Zoom links already inputted into Zoom. And we've got the promotion for the first 4. Oddly, it's all guys, but that's okay. We got plenty of other speakers coming up. So take a look at all those topics, because these are things that you've told us that you want, that you need to improve your practice, or that you're interested in. You will see a mix of clinical techniques, medical theories, integrative approaches to our medicine, as well as the business and practice and malpractice and all of those types of aspects as well. So make sure you sign up for those. You can join for free. You pay a little bit if you need CEUs. Go to csomaonline.org, and we'll list that a few times, csoma.online.org, to go ahead and register. Don't miss out. All right, that was some of our events the last year and this year. That's a lot of CEUs and quality education we're busting out. We're so proud to do it. Our focus is on improved practice management, integrative medicine, and classic theory of Chinese medicine. Julie, I'm going to kick it back to you to take us through some of the CAB stuff.
Okay. We went over this before in our last town hall, but the postponed license renewal fees for those affected by the LA fires go through, I think, the end of this year or 2026 up to 2026, right? We have a new CE requirement of 4 hours of law and ethics. So we will be providing those to you in the future also. So if you need them, stay tuned, sign up for our CEs so that you can get that out of the way. And of course, there are people scamming practitioners saying that they are CAB representatives. CAB representatives will never ask you for your money or anything like that. So if they do, obviously just hang up the phone and then report it to the CAB. But yeah, so just make sure that you have your wits about you and you don't get scammed. Okay, next slide, please.
They definitely ask us for money for our licenses and classes,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But they're not going to solicit money.
They're not going to call you and be like, hey.
All right, keep going.
Okay, so we get confused with the CAB a lot, right? And so we just wanted to remind everyone, CSOMA is the nonprofit membership organization focused on advocacy and research through our journal, right? We are a Association of Professionals, right? The CAB is the California Acupuncture Board, which is the agency that regulates our profession, issues our licenses, and is focused on public safety. Basically, the CAB is set up to protect the public from us, from any of our misdeeds or anything like that, and keep the public safe. And that's why they regulate our profession. They set the regulations, the standards of what we need in order to be licensed in California.
Right. So sometimes we get questions like, hey, when is my license renewal due? And we have to say, you have to contact the CAB for that, not CSOMA. So we're just being really clarifying that for everyone tonight. I think we can skip this one, right?
Right. And also, we just want to clarify that. So if fees go up, it's not us. Don't get mad at us. Please don't call us and leave us messages as to why your license fee went up. Okay. We have nothing to do with that. The CAB does. Call the CAB.
Yeah, we do our best to advocate for fees and other things not going up, but we don't have control over that. So just to distinguish CSOMA from the California Acupuncture Board. You covered that.
Again, we just went through that. So if you need to, you can go in there and check the zip codes that are, if you're in that zip code, if you're in that area, so that you can postpone the fees. Ethics requirement is just the legalese straight from the CAB websites, just so you see it, that we didn't make it up. It's actually there. And of course, if you want to know what's going on with the California Acupuncture Board, you feel strongly about certain things that are happening in the profession, you can always sign up to get an email, be on their email newsletter list, and they will send you when they are going to have their meeting. They have to post the agenda. They will tell you when the area of public comment is released, and that you can plan to attend to see what's going on with the California Acupuncture Board. Okay. So, student loans, the Department of Education is a big mess right now. There is a private Facebook group, Acupuncture Student Loans Borrowers Defense. It can help you with some resources and some other things. So, we just want you to be aware of that. If you're having issues or if you need some support, go there. It's a private Facebook group. You just have to look them up.
And there's other ones too. And I just find there's a lot of helpful information. There's, of course, misinformation, but like Lisa Poole, who I believe is out of Oregon, just doing really incredible tracking of what's happening. It's a very confusing terrain to navigate right now. We are going to do our best to bring you updated information about student loans, but it's a fast shifting platform. So we do think that going to Facebook and joining some of these types of groups can be helpful with getting some basic information. Okay, I think this is back to me. Yeah. Okay, so some policy updates. I just want to update you guys. We have been working hard for the last, well, decade, 3 decades, probably CSOMA, but especially the last 2 years, we've had a really targeted focus policy agenda that we have been implementing. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Acupuncture Coalition, the lobbyist that we have been working with, worked very closely with in 2025, the lobby day we did, and our successful recovery of Medi-Cal benefits in the California budget. So our advocacy pillars, we are focused on helping patients have access to care and our services, becoming a deeper part of the healthcare delivery system, and integrating more into a primary care mentality, and that our services really are primary care. We are one of the few whole health systems. I would say Ayurveda, TCM are the two whole health systems. We are the leaders in integrative medicine. So we need to be positioning ourselves as primary care, which we are for so many of our patients. So we worked very closely over the last year. We have been working with Townsend Public Affairs. They are a communications and public affairs corporation with multiple sites throughout the country and one in Sacramento. And they've just been amazing to work with to help guide us and focus our advocacy work. Nicolo DeLuca has been our main contact person there. Just incredible experience in emerging markets, which really acupuncture is. 2% of the US population gets acupuncture medicine. So really, it's an untapped market the way cannabis was a few years ago. So we went to people that understand emerging healthcare markets and worked with them to help position acupuncture more deeply in the minds of California state policymakers. So we did a bunch of work with them. We did an orientation with them back and forth, them understanding us understanding how their policy works from their point of view. We developed a blueprint and a legislative strategy, and we implemented that strategy, and we've been tracking legislation over the last 2 years. So we've been crafting testimonies and position letters, providing progress reports, sending at times weekly emails to all of the assembly people and senators in the California government so that they understand things like the difference between dry needling and acupuncture. That was one of our main talking points at our lobby day in April, as well as how much money acupuncture medicine saves California and Californians, how much we're able to address chronic health issues and chronic pain and be a solution to the opioid epidemic. These are all the things that we have been hitting home with the California policymakers so that they understand how important our medicine is to the state of California and its residents. If you don't know who your representatives are, this is a great place to go. Find your rep.legislator.ca.gov. should know who's representing you. They are there for you. And more than ever, we have to work our democratic process. We have to reach out to our legislators, and we need to do it in an organized way, which is why hearing about the vendor coalition is so important. When we come together, we have more power. We have a stronger voice when we come together and have a unified voice. So it is also important to know that you can write a letter. You can show up, you can call your local legislators and say, hey, I'm not okay with this, or thanks for doing this. So go ahead. Aren't you curious to know, if you don't already, who's representing you? Because they're working for you. So make sure you're in touch with them.
Also important to know who your representative is in where you have your private practice, if you have your own clinic, because it may be different than where you live, right? So it's a good idea to know both so that when we ask if, hey, can anyone meet with Representative so and so, he's in this zip code. You can be like, yes, I can meet with them, right? So it's always important to know your representative of where you live and where you practice.
So here we were. This is inside the Capitol. This was just a small group. I think we did an entire group photo at some point, but Julie, I couldn't find it, so I put these in. So we had about 50, some odd, between 50 and 60 people, students and licensed practitioners, show up. We had t-shirts, we wore our white coats, we had ear seed cards that we handed out with, how do you find Shenmen? What does Shenmen do? Here's a little strip of Vicaria seeds. We handed out ear seed cards. We ear seeded, I don't know, like 150 or 200 people that day between all of us. And we had talking points that were the same for the entire group. Dry needling is acupuncture. It needs to be regulated at the same level that acupuncturists see it at. Acupuncture improves patient care and is a solution to the opioid epidemic. Acupuncture reduces healthcare costs. This is an important medicine. You have to not only keep it in the budget, you need to expand the budget and expand support for acupuncture medicine in the state. We had so many meetings. I think we took over 60 meetings with different legislators that day. And you see on the right, Assembly member Mia Bonta in District 18, which is Alameda County. She happens to be the chair of the health committee. She is not an easy person to get to. And we met with her aide, her legislative aide, and had a really great meeting with her legislative aide. And then she was in the hallway. So we grabbed her and got ear seeds on those ears. And you know what she said? I use acupuncture. It has made a huge difference in my health care. I love these seeds. I love what you guys do. I'm so glad you're here today. So it's so important that we do this every year, that we come together. And you know what? It's fun. It was really fun. We all felt so proud of each other, of our accomplishments, of being part of this incredible medicine. It was such a point of pride. And it was like filling the jing of our profession to come together in this way. And so we will be in touch with you for the next legislative day. It's being set soon, and we want you to join us. Uh, so you know why that day became even more essential? So that was in April. Because in June, do you know what happened? The budget for acupuncture and Medi-Cal, which acupuncture is an essential health benefit in the state of California under the Affordable Care Act for as long as that act stays in place. California was going to write acupuncture and Medi-Cal benefits out of the budget. They were at a multi-billion-dollar deficit, and Medi-Cal acupuncture is like a 12 to $15 million program. It's not a lot of money in the big picture, but that money means a lot to the people that access acupuncture through Medi-Cal. These are benefits that not only need to be kept, but they need to be expanded so that more people can access this. But you know what? Sometime in May, the middle of May, we found out that the governor, and no, it's not the governor, it's not personally Gavin Newsom, it's all of the people that form these things, that they had decided to again cut acupuncture out of the budget and defund it. And it's only because we had developed so many allyships from our legislative day and had so much support from people like Mia Bonta and Do I have it here? Oh, no, I thought I did. And Senator Scott Wiener, I guess I don't have it here. But he was so helpful. He's in San Francisco. They were so helpful in making sure that Medi-Cal did not get cut out. Oh, this is Scott right there. I just have my picture covering it up. That's why I didn't see him. So Scott Wiener, so important. He was really our huge advocate. And it wasn't just CSOMA. This was a whole coalition. This is the AACMA. This is ACAMAC, a Korean Language Association in Southern California, as well as some other organizations. We all came together to do this policy work. So CSOMA is part of a larger umbrella of organizations that made this happen. So it's only through these relationships, right? It's always relationships that make things happen. So that's why it's so important to have that face-to-face time, the consistent messaging, and I think the ear seed cards so that everyone has a little taste of how beautiful this medicine is. Once people experience it, they usually become advocates for us because yeah, they know. Once they get it, they know. So anyway, I just want to again thank Scott Wiener and also just point out that without an advocacy day last April, we might not have been able to keep acupuncture benefits in the state. And whether you take Medi-Cal or not, it's really important to know that having acupuncture as an essential health benefit and part of the state healthcare system anchors our medicine in this state in a way that helps us to drive it forward. And it helps thousands and thousands of Californians who get their care through Medi-Cal. And there's a lot of them. And they're oftentimes the people that need it most. Right. So what does it mean? It means when we show up, we get heard. And when we show up, we're only representing as many people as CSOMA has in its membership. So we need to have our membership be as big and bold and robust as possible so that when we meet with Mia Bonta and Scott Wiener, that they understand just how important and how passionate we are about preserving our medicine for our patients. So yet another pitch, join CSOMA as little as $14 a month. And if you're really excited, you can consider joining our board. We actually have 3 new board members coming in right now, which is really exciting. We have room for 1 more student director and 2 professional directors. So if you have any interest in helping us plan a legislative day, a lobby day in Sacramento, in helping us write statements like we did about the dry needling and the pneumothorax in the NFL, or planning events and conferences, then come have some fun with us. Join CSOMA as a board member. So we ask you to contribute about 1 to 2 hours a week. We meet every week, every Tuesday morning. We are there on our conference call. Today, not saying great things about dry needlers, but other days usually very positive. And it's a really exciting group. We really get along really well. We take good care of each other. And Julie and Christy and I have been on the board for well over a decade. So there really is a reason to stay. So if you're interested, reach out to us. You can reach out to Julie at president@csomaonline.org. You can just send an inquiry email, or if you know you want to be part of our board and have fun in this exciting venture passion project that we all do, then you can send your CV/resume as well as a letter of intent, which is just like, why are you interested? What do you want to do? Let us know. But you can also just reach out and have a discussion about it to hear a little bit more. With that, this is my favorite time of the night. I want to introduce Emily Von Erf. Emily has been working with us for a little under a year. Emily is an amazing student at Yosan University, and she is a social media master. And if you don't believe me, go to our social media page on Facebook and Instagram. Emily's going to tell you more about it, and go check out Yosan Universities, because she's been doing this work for Yosan University, who is amidst all of these schools having so much difficulty, which is something we're concerned about. Yosan is doing incredibly well, and I know it's in part because of the skills that this woman has. Emily, thanks for being here. You're going to see more from Emily because she's going to be teaching one of the Tuesday night webinars to make social media fun and effective for you. You'll talk more about that, Emily, as well as giving a talk at our May conference at Yosan, a really dynamic interactive talk. So I'm going to zip it, turn it to you. Welcome, Emily. Thanks for being here.
Wow, thank you for that amazing introduction. Oh my God, I feel so special. Well, hello everyone. I'm Emily. I've been managing CSOMA's social media since early this spring and working with Yosan over the past couple of years as a part of their marketing team. And really, my whole life has become navigating the acupuncture world and also the internet and the intersection of both of them and making sure that our medicine and all of you have a voice on the internet. And it has just been a joy doing all of this work with CSOMA this year. So we want to give you a little bit of a taste of what we've been doing. So next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start with the numbers because that's the most technical of everything and also the most tangible way to see the amazing things that have happened this year. Our account this year got 18,000 views, which is 5 times the amount that I got last year, which is really, really amazing. The account started with about 800 followers, a little bit over 800 when I started. It grew, over 111. We actually have 899 followers as of tonight. I'm really hoping that one of you will be the 900th, and I'll get to see who it is when it pops up as a notification. So I'm very excited to see who it will be. So yeah, having that many views with that many followers is really, really amazing. We've had a huge amount of interactions, and our monthly views have been anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 views, which again, with our follower account means our reach is going even beyond our followers. So it's really amazing that this content is getting the reach that it is. Next slide, please.
Emily, I just want to interject a question because it seems that the way you are posting and developing our social media platform, that if someone else has their own Instagram account, it's something that they could reshare that often could be meaningful for their practice. And I didn't know if you were going to address that, but I know that so much of your content is something that our members and our community could also repost to make sure that information is getting out there. So can you speak to that, or are you going to? And I just
Yeah.
preempted.
Yeah, I will, as we go through some of our posts from this year. But yeah, really our goal is to create content that is shareable, and that is meaningful to, all the members of CSOMA to be able to share that it's useful, helpful information. And that's really our goal with everything that we're making, is for people to share it. Which is, evident in things that we have shared that have been shared by, our followers. And one of our number one goals was to share all of the advocacy work that CSOMA was doing and all of the legislative updates that were coming up, and they were coming in fast and coming in hot, and we were really using social media to get on top of updates as they were coming in. Our top post of this year, very timely for today, was our dry needling fact versus fiction post. This was one of our most liked posts, most viewed posts, and most shared posts. If you haven't seen this post, go look at it, read it, share it with everyone. It has so much good information, so many good fact versus fictions about dry needling. And we really want to be able to distill down some of these bigger issues that can be very complicated and nuanced in a way that is bite-sized but is still information packed, and that is one of those posts. We also did a whole series about saving acupuncture benefits when all the budget cuts were introduced, and thankfully that all helped. We got some email campaigns out there that were really great. And then when some internal things happened with the acupuncture board, we were able to get those things out too, about the telehealth standards. So it's really, social media is basically the news at this point. And if it doesn't happen on social media, it doesn't happen at all. So the fact that we could get these things out as quickly as possible to all of you was really great. Next slide.
Yeah, and Emily, I'm just gonna, I just want to comment on that because I just love that you have all this up here. Thank you so much for developing these slides for us tonight. The dry needling fact versus fiction. When did we run that? Like a month or two ago?
Yeah, I think like September.
September. So this is totally relevant. I mean, this is the topic that is happening today. And what's true is when it comes to dry needling, we can play a huge role in the protection of patients because patients don't know. They don't know the difference of acupuncture and dry needling. To us, we know. But I don't know if you guys went to the American Physical Therapy Association's statement today about dry needling, but they continue to double down on saying Acupuncture is dry needling is not acupuncture. Dry needling is based in science and physiology, and acupuncture is based on philosophical theories, things that are just outrageous to try and defend this practice by unqualified clinicians and untrained clinicians. And dry needling is spreading not just with chiropractors and physical therapists, but now we're seeing athletic trainers as well. In fact, this issue that just happened with the NFL might have been an athletic trainer. We're waiting for more information to come out, but we have to counteract that message. And they have a much bigger vehicle to do it. There's so many more physical therapists than us, and they are all part of their associations. So one of the ways we do this is please join CSOMA, give us a bigger voice, but also go to CSOMA's social media page, share this, share it with all of your friends and family, protect them, because these lung collapses and pneumothorax and nerve damage, it's happening far more broadly than it's being reported. It's only reported this week because it was an NFL player who very well may have their entire career compromised. But this has been true for Olympic athletes, Division I athletes, and even just friends and family that don't know the difference. So we're trying to make content that you can share that helps elevate your practice and also lets all of us disseminate accurate and appropriate information. So Emily's helping us cultivate all of that to make it easier for you so we don't all have to keep reinventing the wheel of this messaging.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important not only for CSOMA to have a social media presence, but really every single acupuncturist. It is for these moments. It's for to be able to be a part of these conversations and disseminate information on the internet that is accurate, which is usually not what the internet is. The internet is a giant void of, people without degrees talking about things or people with misinformation talking about things. So the more of us that can be like, this is real, we have the proof to back it up, and we're gonna, shout it loud and proud, the better. Yeah. So our second, pillar for this year was really to share and bask in our amazing community of people, whether that was our in-person events and all of the friends that we got to see. We had so much fun at the Pacific Symposium. Whether it was sharing the lobby day and just all of like the beautiful moments that happened on that day, just looking through all of the pictures just makes me so happy to be in this industry. It would be, I think, hard for anyone to look at these photos and not be excited about, advocating for all of us. And then also engaging with our corporate sponsors and our partner organizations, sharing all of the amazing things that they're doing, and then just celebrating acupuncture. If you didn't know, Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine Day happens every single October on October 24th, I believe. So we really just wanted to, put out content that celebrated the beauty of acupuncture and this medicine and get people excited about educating more people about what it's able to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this middle picture because not only because I'm there having a great time, but there's Jenny Nieders, Dr. Jenny Nieders. Do you know how important it is that Dr. Jenny Nieders, who treats NFL athletes and just taught for us a dry needling class 2 weeks ago, for acupuncturists, talking about how the mechanisms work, breaking down the terminology that is used just to make sure that we are the experts of dry needling as well. But going around and taking these legislative meetings with all these incredible people, and Jenny Nieders, who is an expert in dry needling and is taking care of patients that really get the attention of legislators. They're like, "Oh, you treat the NFL, you must really be an authority on this." So she's just been a huge advocate and supporter of CSOMA, and I'm just taking a minute to thank her among so many other people that make this happen. So
she also has a great social media account, so follow her. Yeah, and getting to, I think, my favorite part of this year, which has been our webinar series. We've gotten to collaborate with all of our amazing speakers. I think mostly everyone sent us in some kind of video talking about, their presentations and what they were going to talk about. And I just love doing collaborations. It's not only some of just like the best performing content, but for me, the best content is content that has heart and that involves people that love what they do. And I think these were like the best examples of that. And it was just so much fun, and we get to continue it all next year, so be prepared for a lot of webinar content coming your way. I mean, we have the most amazing lineup of people. including yours truly, which I'm incredibly honored to do. And I'm so excited to teach you all about how to use social media to enhance your practices and talk about what you love about acupuncture and all the things that you do. So it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, and Emily is such a fun way of like pulling us into it and making it fun and not feel awkward or laborious. So I just can't wait to train with you this year and improve my social media work, Emily.
Yeah,
So
social media should be fun for foremost and always. It should never feel like a chore.
we're
Uh,
so happy to have you on the team. And by the way, Emily's a student, so it's always amazing to see this incredible energy students come in with. And she just started her clinic this past fall. So just yay, because you remind us all about what it's like to move through the profession. And boy, what a huge asset you are. We're so glad you chose acupuncture, Emily. Thanks for all of this. We can't wait to see more of you in 26.
Of course. I think I have one last
You
little
do. Oh,
tidbit.
you
Yeah,
do.
I do. Yeah. So, what does 2026 have in store? Well, we already talked about our webinars. We're going to do a bunch of in person conference coverage. We have 2 in-person conferences next year. So, we can't wait to see all of you. Of course, we're going to give you updates about all kind of legislative things happening, though, knock on wood, maybe 2026 will be nice to us and we'll only have good things to tell you. Ra and I have been working on a series to start talking about some acupuncture research, which will be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, just community stuff, sharing what our members are doing, our member organizations, our partner organizations, keeping the community aspect in it, because that's what this is all about. And with that, we would love to hear from you and what kind of content you want to see. You can always send us a message on Instagram or communicate with one of the board members. If there's something that you're not seeing that you want to see, please tell us, because it's my goal that, whenever you open up your phone and your Instagram, if the top post on there is a CSOMA post that makes you, excited to be on the internet, because the internet should be a fun place to be on, which it's not always, but we're trying to make it better. So yeah, tell us what you want to see and we will make it happen.
Yay. Thank you. Thanks, Emily. All right, a few more slides to wrap this up. We had Carly here talking about the vendor coalition, and many of the vendor coalition have been longtime supporters of CSOMA. We couldn't do it without the vendor support. So we want to thank our corporate members, MIC Jane and Health Concerns. They really come in as like the super big dogs that help fund a lot of our initiatives. We're so grateful to them for that support. We have our merchant members who are in that next tier level, Sue and Herbs American Acupuncture Council. And this is really like the foundation of CSOMA, are all of these merchant members: Con, AcuCare, Golden Flower, Mayway. I mean, look at this list, Far East Summit. I can't even name them all. I'm so grateful. You will get to interact with so many of these vendors at our live event. Julie, what are the dates? We're going to be at Yosan on what, May 1st and 2nd?
And second, which is a Friday, Saturday, right? You'll get to meet Emily in person, and maybe she'll give you a free tutorial on how to post on your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever social media you're on, right? So, yes, May 1st and 2nd at Yosan. I'll be there.
And then what about September? We have another live event we're doing. We have a Southern California May, a Northern California in September. What are the September dates? I always forget.
September 24th and 25th. It's a Thursday, Friday at the Oakland Endowment Center. If you joined us there before, it's a great space. We'll be there again. And of course, my birthday is September 23rd. So please come help me celebrate on the 24th and 25th. I celebrate all month long, but it'll be more special if you come and celebrate with me in person in Oakland.
Right. We're definitely having cake on the 24th, so come join us on that. So look, you can go to csomaonline.org for more details, but come on out on the Tuesday night webinars, second Tuesday of every month. Come on out to Yosan in May and Oakland in September. Oh, this is the time for me to make a shameless plug, because I have to get the word out to you guys. So as some of you may know, when I'm not at CSOMA, I'm full-time at UCSF, where I serve as the Director of Pediatric Integrative Medicine. And I am so thrilled to announce something I've been working on for 8 years at UCSF. The first is UCSF is now going to offer continuing education credits for licensed acupuncturists, where you can come and train in an integrative integrative setting on various topics. We're launching our first class on integrative TCM pediatrics, one of my favorite topics in my clinical specialty. And that's going to be February 2nd and 3rd. It's a 16-hour training of Category 1 CEUs. I am going to embed 4 hours of the ethics to make sure you meet that requirement. And it's going to be a lot of hands-on with patients and demos and really interesting theory and modern research that's coming out of UCSF and other medical centers. We'll probably have some guest speakers at that. It's just going to be a really fun class, and it'll be really the first time that a CEU class is being geared for licensed acupuncturists at UCSF. It's going to be the beginning of multiple certificate programs. If you're interested in that, I have the QR code in the corner. It'll take you to the STOD Center, which is the center I work under. There's a lot of centers at UCSF. There's the Osher Center. There's the STOD Center. And so you can go to our page and read more about the CEUs. So that's the first class. And then we're going to have a fellowship. We're going to do a 1-year fellowship for licensed acupuncturists who want to work in hospital settings. I'm open for questions right now. Again, you can go to take the QR code, or you can just email me at the bottom. I have my UCSF email address there. You can read more about it by taking this QR code. But if you're someone that wants to work in a hospital, and we do hope to continue hiring, but basically I'm going to hire 4 people as a fellow. And there's a payment that the fellow will make towards didactic, but then I'm going to hire the fellows as staff and pay them back part of that money. So you'll get paid for the clinical service and you'll pay for the didactic. So it's about, the numbers are all there. It's about $10,000 to do the year-long program, but you'll get about $5,500 of that back. I'm also looking to generate scholarship for people to bring that cost down even more. It's going to be 1 day a week on Tuesdays, didactic in the morning, and pediatric and adult inpatient care in the hospital on Tuesday afternoon. So it's a 1-day commitment. I will be accepting applications really starting now or officially in January. I'll hold an open house in February. We'll be awarding I have room for only 4 fellows this year, but I hope to onboard some of those fellows to help me expand the program in the following year and bring it up to a total of 12 fellows in the next year cycle. So this first cohort, fellowships will be awarded in March and April. We will be hiring, onboarding, and privileging you. So you're going to go through every experience that it takes to work in a hospital. You'll be doing, if you're interested, we'll be doing intensive care, oncology, bone marrow transplants, solid organ transplants, especially heart transplants, intensive care, traumatic brain injury, neuro rehab, disordered eating, and so much more, as well as adult intensive and oncology, and possibly labor and delivery. So you're going to learn how to function in a hospital, integrative charting, all of the protocols within a hospital. You'll learn new techniques. You're going to get lectures from all different kinds of providers, anesthesiologists, MDs, rounding on the floors. It's going to be a completely immersive experience in only a 1-day commitment. So I'm so excited to be offering this program. The first 4 people that are the first 4 fellows, you're going to be like really developing this program with me. It's going to be an incredible journey that we're going to go on. So if this is up your alley, and it is not a small commitment, but it's an amazing one. And it will prep you for hospital medicine to be a prime candidate for any position that gets listed in the country. You will be so far above and beyond for these jobs that can often be really good jobs with pensions and healthcare and all of that. So anyway, if this is something that interests you, that's my shameless plug. Get the word out. I'm just so thrilled to be offering continuing education and a fellowship as we grow integrative medicine at UCSF. Come be a part of that if you're interested. Reach out to me with any questions.
And I just quick question.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop sharing. I'll ask the question in a second. I just want to say, like, I love this quote from Billie Eilish. That's like, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? And I just keep thinking, if you're not a CSOMA member, especially after all this, Why are you not a CSOMA member? Because we have to come together. We just organized into a union at UCSF. Acupuncturists are now part of a union, and we are bargaining as a unit now. And we just won our contract, and it's the time to come together. The vendor coalition, acupuncturists joining unions at Kaiser as well as UCSF, and coming together under the banner of CSOMA to advance and protect our profession. So if you're not a CSOMA member, why are you not a CSOMA member? Join us. Join us one way or the other. CSOMAonline.org. I'm going to stop sharing. All right. There's probably a lot of questions, and we still have a few more minutes. Well, we have like 30 seconds, but we could stay a minute or two late for all you folks that are crazy enough to still be with us on a Tuesday night. So
So
let's
my
take a look at these questions.
question
Yeah.
is, if you're a CSOMA member and you apply for the fellowship, does your application go to the top?
So no, I can't. I wear both hats, and I know I just mixed the peanut butter and the jelly. But it's not just going to be me making the decision. We're actually having a team who will be selecting the fellows. So it's not all on me. You'll be joining part of an integrative team of nurse practitioners, anesthesiologists, physicians, massage therapists, clinical psychologists, chaplains, and social workers. That's the team you'll be joining. So it's not on me, but join CSOMA anyway. Great question. All right, what else? What else you got for us? Couple questions before we hang up tonight.
So I make sure, did everyone get the link to the CSOMA statement on dry needling? Thank you, Miss Kim Newman, for posting it in the chat to everyone.
It will be
I do not have
also
access to post it to everyone.
It will be going up in a social media post tomorrow if you want a convenient way to share it. We will be posting it on Instagram tomorrow. So look out for that.
Okay, and I see Alicia is asking about 2026 legislative event. Stay tuned. That's why you go to the CSOMA newsletter and join the newsletter and join our Instagram, because we will announce it as we're organizing it. We don't have a date set yet, and we're also kind of watching and waiting and nail biting to see what kind of policy is introduced in the new legislative session in January and February, and seeing how we need to respond. So hoping it's all quiet. And then, of course, every May, that draft budget comes out, and we've got to fight for our benefits, but that's just how this works. But we do it for our patients. So, okay, any other questions in there? Dry needling statement. All right, you guys, more questions, reach out to us, president@csomaonline.org, info@csomaonline.org. Also, if you're interested in the fellowship, that's I have my whole formal name, robin.adcock@ucsfonline.org. Hopefully you had that QR code. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you for being part of this community. Let's keep it going. Let's keep building it every second Tuesday. Couple live events, the newsletter, social media. Let's mix it up and have a great 26. Thank you for 25. Carly, thanks for being here. Emily, thank you so
Wait,
much
Clay
for
has a
being with us.
question.
Oh, so who's got a question?
Clay, what's your question? Rob, can you bring Clay up if he wants to come up as
Yeah. Let me find Clay. More. Clay, I got you. I've just promoted you to panelist. You can come on screen if you want. Hi there.
The panelists, my goodness gracious. Okay, everyone can log off. I just have a question. All I wanted to ask is, your enthusiasm, A, is contagious, and B, thank you for all the reporting and the big wins. I think CSOMA is about to have a great big year. But I'm also like feeling a lot of the difficulties that the field is going through right now. Nonetheless, me getting through my 3-year practice and realizing that I couldn't shake it for a couple reasons as a sole proprietor. But I guess one of my questions is like, are we planning in the first 6 months of 26 to have some real serious conversations about some of the challenges that are facing the field, including the new debt to income ratio with the general, not the GE, I always forget what that stands for, gainful employment requirements that are going to affect student loan borrowing limits in the fall for future students. We've got a couple big challenges coming our way. Do we have a plan to address these things?
We do. So, well, we do and we don't, right? So, I mean, a lot of this is quickly changing, like these new policies around loan caps, right? And so that's this is what we do every Tuesday morning as a board. We meet from 8 to 9 in the morning. Some of us are in our cars. Once in a while, I might swear because I'm driving into San Francisco. And we have like Rob Hoffman, who is part of the ACOM. I know ACOM has a new acronym, but it's really hard to say. So he's on the board of ACOM. He's running a school. He's on the Council of Colleges. So we're getting a lot of information from that. So the idea is to try and create a web of interconnectivity in every way possible, like Carly and the Vendor Coalition being here. We've got to solve these problems together. We need our states associations to be strong because they make our national association strong. The ASA is only the collection of people that join CSOMA and each state association, and that feeds up to our national. So we don't have all the answers right now. I agree with you, Clay. We have real challenges that we're facing. And our profession didn't even have access to student loans, 20 years ago. And we're going to find a way. This medicine's 2,000 years old. We're going to figure it out. But it's really like, we don't have a big master plan and a crystal ball. That's why we meet every week to like, what's going on? What do we need to address? And I love that you're asking that question, Clay. And I wonder if you're interested in going deeper with those questions every Tuesday morning.
I just might be. Yeah, I'm considering it. Great.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah. I thank you for asking that because we do come in with a positive message. We try to stay positive, but yeah, our profession has real challenges like ASH payouts, like in the
ASH
state.
payouts. Yeah.
ASH payouts, right? And so the chiropractors just had a big win around that. We're wondering to see if we can model after that same thing, so it takes a lot of work and we're all doing this as a labor of love, which is why we need all of you to, at the very least, join as a member because it's a lot of time and energy and we're decades into this, most of your board for CSOMA right now. So we all do what we can, right? Whether you can show up here tonight, great. You can join a CEU, you can join as a member, you can join as a board member. We each take a turn to keep this medicine going and strengthen it for our patients and for future practitioners. So Clay, I'd love to talk with you more. Reach out to me, even if we just have a one-on-one. I'd love to hear more about your thoughts.
Great. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's one more question. Is a doctorate required to become a fellow? Is that a requirement for the fellowship?
It is not. So there's more details. Go to that QR code and when we're done here, I can put it back up. But go to you can even just Google STAD, S-T-A-D, STAD Center. And then it's weird, but U, like the letter U store, and that'll get you there. We're the same place that QR code would. And it has the requirements there. I do need everyone to be a licensed acupuncturist. This is not a degree training program. This is a certificate program in hospital-based acutherapy medicine. I call it acutherapy because acupuncture is not a great word in a hospital where people are afraid of needles. We call it acutherapy. And we do such a wide range of techniques beyond just needle work. So, and we're starting herbal medicine. Like I'm teaching a class in the School of Pharmacy and the School of Medicine at UCSF, a rotation in herbal medicine, not so other clinicians can do it, but so they can respect it and we can start prescribing it and recommending it at UCSF. So this first cohort of fellows is going to be part of all of this. You're going to help me drive forward the research, the paper writing, and the clinical service that is going to just supercharge things beyond what I can do as a sole clinician there. So, yeah, so you don't need a doctorate. I do recommend a doctorate degree. You don't need it to be part of the fellowship. You do need to have a license. Great question. What else you got, you guys?
I don't see any more in the Q&A and I don't see anything in the chats at the moment.
All right, well, let's go drink our Xiaoyao San or our Tianwan Bushindan and have a nice night of sleep. And everybody, thank you so much for being here. Clay, you look good on screen with us, so I hope you think more about this. And everyone, thank you for being part of the CSOMA community. Thank you for being part of our beautiful profession. Let's keep getting together every second Tuesday and keep this community vibe going. That's what makes us strong, keeps our spirits strong. And thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate you all so much. You make this possible for our medicine and our patients. That's it. Go to your registration email if you want to know how to get your continuing education credit. Don't miss out on that credit. And we'll see you after the new year. Happy holidays, everyone. Take care.
Hey, everyone. Good night.